Was Aaliyah a man?
The whole video is black and white. I love black and white videos.
Oh boy, so now we finally come to this video. Was Aaliyah a man? Was she really born male? Does her frame say it all? Let's try to find out. In today's video, we're going to be talking about whether or not Aaliyah was a female or a male. So without further more to say, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your bell post notifications so that you'll be notified every time I drop a video. Let's get right into this ridiculous myth. So there's like this big myth going around now that Aaliyah was a man, and a lot of people seem to think so. I've even gotten comments under some of my videos of people saying that she was a man, and it's really ridiculous to me. I never thought this, not even for a second. I personally have always gotten female vibes from Aaliyah through interviews and through her music, and it would have never crossed my mind that she could have been a man. It just didn't. But before I get into my explanation on this whole situation, I just want to let you guys know that not in any way, shape, or form do I believe that Aaliyah was a man. I just don't believe it. And there's nothing you can do to change my mind, because I don't think she was a man. But without further more to say, let's get into this. Now, starting off with this topic, we're just going to start with her tomboy image, her tomboy style. Now, a lot of people think that because she was so boyish and that she dressed like it, that made her a boy. And because she did it so well, they also assumes she's a boy. And you know what? I used to be the same way when I was around her age, probably around the same age, which is crazy. I guess teenagers go through that phase around 15, 14, 13. But I definitely wore baggy clothes, like baggy pants with t-shirts. And I would wear caps to the back. But that did not make me a boy, did it? But the moral of the story is, what I'm trying to say is that wearing baggy clothes does not mean you were born a male. Let's get into some of the other things people say. Now, a lot of people say that she was a man because she acted like one. Well, like a little boy. And that also does not define what gender you are. I don't mean to make this about myself, but I used to act like a complete boy. And clearly I'm a girl. It's just something I think she preferred back in the day, because a lot of people went with the tomboy image. A lot of people wore baggy clothes. They act like boys. They was sad. I mean, just look at the brat. Clearly, she's a female. Now, the next thing that people point out about Aaliyah and why she was a man, in their words, was her arms. Now, my own family was trying to tell me that on a woman's body, your arms are not supposed to be past your vagina, which Aaliyah's arms was. But I kind of debunked that, because back then when we were having this discussion, I was a lot more slimmer than I am now. And my arms definitely were just like Aaliyah's, kind of long. And I'm just like, well, my arms are the same way, so that doesn't really define you as being a man. And as we all know, men have long arms, and they're usually, I believe, past their private parts. And Aaliyah had that, but I'm just like, my arms is like that, and I am 100% female. So that's another reason why I definitely don't think that Aaliyah was a man. Now, the one I was seeing the most, I believe, out of this whole list was her shape. Now, a lot of people were saying how she had no curves like a female. She was just straight down like a dude, and you know, she had the V shape like men have below the abs. But we have to remember that Aaliyah was one to work out. She would work out 5 days a week. But Aaliyah worked out. She did sit-ups because she wanted to maintain her frame for what she was doing, her career. So that could play a role in why she had a V shape. I don't really see it that bad. I think everybody has one. If you are toned, if you tone your body, you will definitely see one, I'm pretty sure. And if you also were to wear your pants that low as she wore hers, you would definitely see it. And moving on, a lot of people pointed out her deep voice when she sings as well. I seen a comment saying that it's funny how she can make her voice go so deep, you know, like a man. And I'm just like, anyone can do that. Anybody can make their voice go deep. I noticed that that's just something she did because her mother did it. If you go to her mother's My Funny Valentine, her mother has a very deep voice. So she probably incorporated that into her everyday singing. It would make sense, but it had nothing to do with her being a man. Other comments that I would see was about Aaliyah being close to women, comfortable with women. They definitely pointed out the pictures with her and Natine. They would say that she was close with her friend Kidada, and you know, I did see the closeness, but if you ask me, I would have just said that maybe she was a lesbian, but that's probably what I would have went for rather than her being a man. But I do have to say that she was really close to a lot of people, even strangers, not just men, but it is questionable in its own way. But anyways, moving on, a lot of people seem to think that it's possible that her mom gave her some type of pill to change her at a young age and start turning her into a man when she was a younger kid. And in my mind, I'm just like, I don't think Diane was thinking of turning her daughter into a man. She already wanted a baby girl along with her husband, so that kind of debunks the whole myth. But I definitely don't think that they changed Aaliyah into a boy at a young age. That's just ridiculous. She looks like a girl in every photo, even her baby photo. She looks like a girl. And if you compare her picture with her brother's picture when they were younger, she definitely still looks like a girl, and you can tell that he is a boy. I also want to include that I don't think that changing your gender by injection or pill, however they do it, was common back then. So, yeah. Another thing is her height. Now, if you don't know, Aaliyah was 5'7". Now, that does not define that she was a man either, because I am in fact 5'7", and I'm just very tall because of my parents. Now, I'm pretty sure Aaliyah had 2 tall parents, which made her tall. Her brother was even tall, and the people in her family even looked tall. So, her height was definitely normal for a girl. If you ask me, 5'7" is a normal height, and if you're not 5'7" and you're under, you're a dwarf. And if you're higher than 5'7", you're just a giant. Aaliyah was in the middle. She was perfect, and yeah. Now, I just want to point out that Aaliyah did have boobs. Not that much, but she still had some. And I know that when you're a man, they can give you boobs, but it didn't look like Aaliyah had breast surgery. And I know this because she had on a sheer top. The one I'm thinking of is the one of her on her red album cover with the tan mesh shirt on. Did not look like she had surgery. Aaliyah would wear tight pants, and she just had a girl figure when she did so. She had normal amounts of stomach hair. At the end of this video, I will be comparing men to females in their bodies. Also, I want to say that R. Kelly is definitely for his females. I don't think that he would be messing around with a man or Genuine. We all know he was a ladies' man. That goes along with Static Major, Jay-Z, and Damon Dash. I also wanted to point out that transgender men who turn into women, they are usually really extra. And for some reason, Aaliyah was not extra. She was very preserved. And transgenders, they love wigs, some of them. They love makeup, and some of them love girly things. Now, before we move on to the comparisons, I just want to say that when you are skinny and petite, you do not have curves all the times. And skinny people never have curves. They never have a frame, a shape. It's usually the people who have a little bit of weight to them. And Aaliyah, as she grew up, she started to get a little curves because she was starting to get a little bigger since she grew up from her teen stages. But not all women have curves. I just want want to let you guys know that. Also, I forgot to mention that when you are skinny, your arms are longer. When you're skinny in general, everything appears longer and you appear taller. And just always keep that in mind. And the chunkier you are, the shorter you look, the stubbier your arms and legs look. So Aaliyah was very slim, so everything looked tall. Of course, her arms were gonna pass her lady parts, like they say it's not supposed to, but she was just skinny. Let's get on to the comparisons. Now here's a picture of a few models. I just want to say that all females' bodies are different. They're not gonna all be the same. Not every girl has curves. Every single girl in this picture has curves except for the brown skin girl. I know there's 2 of them. She doesn't seem to have that much defined curves as the rest of the girls. And the only reason why the rest of the girls even have curves is because they're skeletons. Their skin is basically just hugging bones. Now this is a better picture of a model with no curves because she's so narrow. She does not have the curves by her belly button, just like Aaliyah didn't have. And she's very narrow and slim, and that will cause you not to have shapes. I just wanted to bring a few examples on here for you guys, but moving on. Now here's some better portraits of what bodies could look like, and I believe that Aaliyah was in the more thinner side. And then you have athletic, strong, and very strong. But as you can see, the thinner body does not have as much curves as the other ones because it's slim. And that was pretty much our girl Aaliyah. This is pretty much the same picture just from the side. Now, as you can see, there is really no curvature on the thin girl. On the athletic, it's starting to get there, then strong, then very strong. Our girl Aaliyah was thin, so therefore she's not gonna have curves. And in realistic life, their arms are gonna be longer than that. My arms are very long, just like Aaliyah's. But this example doesn't do it justice. Now, as Aaliyah got older, her torso did kind of look like the skinny fat. I'm not calling Aaliyah fat, I'm just saying she had miniature love handles. But if you take off the thighs and the breast, then this would be Aaliyah to a T. Or just putting the torso on the other one, and it'd be perfect. This was definitely Aaliyah. And as you can see, even the skinny fat doesn't really have that many curves. The only reason why it does is because it has miniature love handles. But if it didn't, there wouldn't be much curvature. Now, last but not least, this is the comparison of the guy and the girl that I wanted to do. Now, Aaliyah was always smaller than all the men she was ever around, including her brother. And you could definitely see the differences in men and women. Her brother had broad shoulders. He was tall. Every feature was bigger. His face had more structure. Sorry if you can hear those firecrackers. People are ahead of themselves, but you can see his bone structure in his face. And with Aaliyah, she had a very soft tone to her face, like a female. Now, I'm not saying that women can't have strong features in their face. Some do, but Aaliyah definitely had the softer side of a female in her face and her body. Everything on her body was smaller than her brother's, and that's why I personally think that she was actually a girl. Now, if you go to the pictures of Aaliyah and her brother, it kind of looks just like these examples that I have on the screen. You can see how the girl is more feminine and smaller, and the back of the female, I also forgot to mention that. A lot of people were pointing out Aaliyah's arched back and was comparing it to men and saying that that's what men have. But because Aaliyah was so little and so skinny, she would always arch her body. It was just something that she did. And I believe that it was natural for her. It had nothing to do with her being a man. A lot of people arch their backs, and if you're skinny enough, you will see a more defined arch, like this man here. But this woman in this photo also has an arch back, and that's because she is skinny. Now, if she was to have a hunch like Aaliyah did, you would definitely see it more. I don't think Aaliyah was a man That's just what I'm trying to say, you guys. I don't even believe in that. Hopefully this is the last video I do on this topic, but if you guys have any disagreements, let me know why. Aaliyah was definitely the one on the right. That's that. And I just want to say too that if Aaliyah was a man, she would have grown tall like her brother. Like I said earlier, her parents were tall, they looked tall through the pictures, and her brother was tall. If Aaliyah was a boy like her brother, I'm pretty sure she would have been just as tall as him. But anyways, you guys, that'll be it for this crazy video, this crazy myth. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought down below. If you want to hit me up through my DMs, here's my social media. But without further more to say, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Stay crazy.
Do you remember that one night when we fell in love? What we had felt so right, 'cause we had tried.